Hello and welcome. So in this video we are going to start off with a challenge. And if you recall from the previous video, I mentioned that we need a way to reset the camera view to the default view. That will make things much easier for us and we will easier understand which way we are heading. So the challenge is about, first off, you need to add a button. So you need to go to project settings and add an action binding. This is not an axis binding, this is an action binding. And it's up to you whether you want to connect this action binding to the E button or the R button. And it's really, you can choose between these two. And you can call the binding reset camera. So what you really need to do in order to reset the camera, I have some hints for you at the very bottom. It says set the world rotation to the same as the spring arm. Because we want to, get back to the default view, and the default view is what the spring arm, initially had. So if you look at the spring arm component, you will see it has an absolute rotation of -45. You need to set it to the exactly same rotation. Whenever we click this action binding or action button, either the E or R key. See if you can figure this one out yourself, and if not, we will do it together. So pause the video now, please, and give this a try. Okay, hopefully you finish this task without any struggles. So I'm gonna use this as a checklist so I remember what I should do. So I've already done this before making this selection, but I'm gonna, delete this so we can do it together. I'm gonna go to the project settings. Let's go to input, and we have a reset camera here. So I'm gonna add it as well, so you can also see everything step by step from the beginning. So we need to add an action binding. Here we have the action mappings. I'm gonna click the plus. I'm gonna call it reset camera. If you expand it on this arrow here, you can click this. I'm gonna connect it to the R key. So now we have an action binding. So I'm gonna close this window. I'm gonna add this event here. It's called reset camera. So when this is when we press the R key in this case, this event will run. And what we want to do here is really just reset the camera, and we can do that by resetting this spring arm component. So if I just drag from here, it can do a set world rotation. Set world rotation. And in order to know which rotation really should use, I'm gonna just split this here. It says new rotation. I'm gonna split this here by right-clicking. And as I mentioned, you should set it to the default one. So if you look in the editor, you're having a spring arm component, and if you look here, it says absolute rotation in the transform field here. Absolute rotation means world rotation, okay? This is the rotation that is relative to the world. And relative rotation is really something else, but we are interested in this world rotation here, because if you look, it says absolute rotation -45 in the y-axis. So it has a world rotation of -45. And this is the default initial value of it. And this is what we want to set it to. So I'm just going to go to the Y here, -45. And the rest should actually be 0, the X and the Z. So I'm going to give this a try and see what happens. So let's just rotate around, and I'm gonna click the R key. And as you can see, it resets back to the forward axis. So if I rotate around, click the R key, it goes back. So as you can see, now I can very easily control what the forward axis is. If I click R, now I'm looking forward. If I click the W key, the ball keeps rolling forward. The S key, I'm going backwards. However, if I just turn here like this, I don't know what forward is anymore, because if you click W, you see that it goes to the right. That is really forward, but not from this perspective. So if I click the R key, it goes to the correct view again. So now I can easily control the ball. This makes the game much more user-friendly. You can easily, look around and very quickly just reset your view in case, you don't remember really what the forward and left and right is anymore. So it makes it much easier to play, much more fun. And feel free to, customize the speed of the ball, because I feel like it's, twisting or turning a little bit too fast. But we can tweak that later on, but I'm going to show you where you can tweak that. If you go to the ball's variables here, we have something ruled torque. And we are using it somewhere here. I think we are using it here for the forward, and we are using it here for the move right. Forward and backwards, right and left. So what you can do is change this value. Currently, it's having a very large value. It's like there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 zeros, so I think it's like 5 million or something. So I suggest that you try to tweak this to your own liking. Let's try with changing the 5 to a 4. And let's see what happens. I think really this is much better. Yeah, you can try it out yourself, and I am pretty happy with that jumping power. So tweak this to your own liking and see what works for you. Because on some levels, where we can fall down, you don't want to have too much speed, because otherwise it will be hard to control the ball. So I'm gonna try a value of 1 really. I'm just gonna see how slow it gets. It's very slow right now. So I'm gonna try a value of 2. I'm pretty happy with this really. 2 is really perfect. It's not too fast, it's not really too slow. But maybe a value of 2 or 3 should work just fine. I'm gonna change it to 3 for now. We can always tweak that later on. I'm gonna do one last test. Yeah, I think 3 is perfect. All right, so this is it for this video. We will very soon start implementing new actors such as the portal, and maybe even some more actors to be able to jump high. So it's like a jumping platform. But we will do that very soon, and after that we will also start implementing our levels to have some fun. We will also create pickups and make the game look really cool. All right, so thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.